What's going on, everybody? Are you a music artist looking for studio time, or an aspiring model looking for modeling opportunities? Or maybe an author looking for publishing help with book design or audiobook development? Either way, UAP Radio is your local and online news media marketing production studio who specializes in independent community development. So whether it's photography needed for a birthday, filming services needed for a special event, or even someone looking for computer repair down to helping assemble the new grill you just bought, our team of community development specialists are here to help. With services ranging from news media marketing, business development, audio/video engineering production, technical support, and residential aid, you're bound to find something that we can help you with. So allow us to help continue delivering news from the community, for the community, by the community. And don't forget to like the UAP Radio Show page. Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is your man, SpaceMan Stuw, a.k.a. the Black Fiend, Black Phoenix Productions. You're tuned in to the UAP Radio Show, the Underground Apocalypse Podcast Show, where we take the underground world and turn it upside down to the surface. It's what? Thursday? Y'all already know what we in here doing. We are here live for the 5-minute filter, that is. But as always, we are in here with your man, SpaceMan Stuw, and I always cover the great creative culture. If anybody's familiar with that, the great creative culture, I am your GCC dude, bringing you all things new regarding the community news, whether it's new business, education, sports, or the great creative culture. I am the GCC dude, bringing you all things new regarding your community news. But like I said, we're on an interview for the GCC community today, the great creative culture, and we have an author from the literature world, the creative world. A lot of people, may have different ways of expressing themselves with ink, but with actual literature and penmanship, with being an author, it's a whole nother art and technique into it. And the author that we have with us today, I want her to give her spiel on that and introduce herself now, if she does not mind.
Okay, hello, I am Keeya McSwain, author Keeya McSwain, and I am an author as of the last year, self-published author as of 2016. This is my first project, and introduce myself.
All right. So you said you've been an author since, 2016?
Right, yeah. I started the project in 2015, but self-published. It became available in 2016, February.
Okay, cool. Okay, right. So right before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself. You like stuff like that, if you don't mind. Let everybody know a little bit about who Keeya McSwain is.
Okay. I am new to North Carolina as of 2016 as well. So native Detroit, Michigan resident, and moved here last year after my oldest son graduated. He's 18 now and in the Air Force, serving in U.S. Air Force in Japan, and he is my oldest son. So I have two other boys. Khalil, well, my oldest son is Karan, and then Khalil is 14 and Kyrie is 11. So I have a mother of three boys, and I am new to North Carolina. About me, I am adventurous. I love outdoors. I've already been to Powder's Mountain twice, versus some people who live in here like, I've never even been. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I mean, it might not be that big of a spectacle to some people.
Yeah, because I'm an outdoors person. So here for like a year, trying to get some horseback ride lessons in and just explore the outdoors.
You want the whole experience, huh? The whole country experience.
Yeah. I'm country at heart. So I'm from the city, but I'm country at heart.
Okay. So you said you grew up in Detroit in the city area, but country, laid back living is more so you.
Right, definitely. Oh, I live on a farm in a minute, or the only reason I'm in the city and raise my boys in the suburbs of Michigan is because they don't like it. They begged me like, no, I was gonna go to Boiling Springs.
That's up in there, Garden Web and stuff like that.
Yeah, I could live like that, but
everything has for a reason. But don't want to get too far off topic. Right. But to the book, From Fatherless to Famous. where did the inspiration come from this? Like as far as with the title, even putting everything you put in behind it, because the marketing that you put in behind it, everything that I've seen on it seemed like a lot has went into it to actually have the actual product in hand. So, explain that, where everything came from with that, if you don't mind.
Okay, so yeah, it definitely was a few-year project. Took about almost a year and a half to get it up and going. The inspiration came from my middle son, Khalil. And I do talk about this in the book, introduction, the dynamics of my sons growing up with three separate fathers. So Khalil, one day he came home and he said, Mom, how come I'm the only child in the world who doesn't have a father? I was like, he said in the world, he didn't say the neighborhood or anything like that. So, and I raised my boys in the suburbs, St. Clair Shores, Michigan. So in the suburbs where we live, all his friends are, Caucasian, but they all were in two-family households. So every time he was around his friends, or even at the schools, he would see the fathers involved. Fathers walking their kids to school. Fathers just involved. And he always, I guess, for a while he was feeling that way. So when he asked me, I'm like, oh my gosh. I had to explain to him, no, you're not. And I had to think about it. I said, well, if we, when we go to the city, or, you see other kids that's in that situation. But when I thought about it, if he feels this way, I want to say he was around 5th or 6th grade at that time. If he feels that way, how many other fatherless children or motherless children feel that same way? So that really touched me. And I thought about it and I said, well, if he feels this way, again, many other children must feel this way. And I said, correct. I need to figure out a way to not just tell him that's not true or you're not, and just move forward and leave it alone. Because I'm sure that question comes to parents all the time, and they say, oh no, you're not the only one, and just leave it like that. But that doesn't really help the child get past that thought. So what I did is say, okay, well, I want to figure out a different way to help encourage my son, or motivate him, to help him realize that regardless of that, you can still be the best you can still do anything you want to do. So I know from my experience, sometimes your parents telling you something just kind of go in one ear and out the other. Right. And so that's where the inspiration for the book came from too, as far as trying to reach not just my son, but other children in the world who may be mother and fatherless, or just, missing one of the parents out the household, and create a book with something that, with literature that they can relate to. So that's how each chapter is kind of structured in a book. So each chapter is about a different celebrity or a famous person who grew up without their mother or without their father. However, during their childhood, they face adversities or they face abuse, or each chapter is different. So we got Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, Kanye West. It's various people that each child, or any child that may read the book, can possibly relate to, because not everybody's absent for the same reason. Again, some fathers are absent because of incarceration. Some are absent because the mother left them. Some fathers left the families because they had another secret family. So it's very
or work too much or whatever.
Yeah. So each chapter is a little different, and my goal was to, just kind of help encourage these children who are feeling that way, help motivate them. I also talk about in the book the statistics of the effects of children who are growing up in these households like this. Because sometimes as single parents, or I know plenty of single fathers or single mothers who we have to work, and we're so busy we can't always pay attention to what our child may be lacking. So for girls it causes my mind going blank. What's the word I'm looking for? They start seeking that love from the wrong places, at too young of an age, or and then in that case, that was somewhat my situation with my father being absent or in and out of jail. So it's a cycle that needs to be broken, not just with the girls and not just the boys, but just in general. So again, the book is to help touch the hearts of those children who may be in those situations where they may be considering dropping out of school, or they may be considering using drugs or drinking, or sleeping with men, or whatever the case is, and to help encourage them and let them know you don't have to go that route. And this is again why each chapter is a little different, with different people, celebrities that they can relate to. I've tried to make it where they can relate to the people who they know, familiar names, because that's where our children are gaining
A lot of influence.
Yeah, influence.
Right.
So, TV, radio, and who they're seeing, who they're watching. But the problem is, what I found is that a lot of children nowadays are not reading.
Right.
So by me being self-published, even though I have a book that may help a lot of our youth, it's up to me to kind of get it into the schools, get it into the mentor program hands, the mentors' hands, to give to their mentees and things like that, because children just don't read anymore.
Right.
So that's kind of a challenge within itself.
One thing that I do like from what you just now said, as far as getting into the hands of mentoring programs, which, from like the title of the book, one might think that, it may be saying that, you don't necessarily need like a father figure to be, successful in life. But what I'm hearing from this more so of, don't take that as being a crutch in your life. Like, don't let you not being, not having your father in your life make you say, well, or you're in a bad situation. Well, I'm having bad grades. Well, I ain't got no father, so it don't matter. Nobody cares. No way. No, it's still, a reason for you to continue being successful. That's no reason for you to say, well, woe is me. I can't do it because I didn't have this.
Right. Don't fall victim.
Right.
Because, unfortunately, when you look at the statistics of the men in jail and people like turn into drugs and alcohol, I talk about that with Mary J. Blige, different people in the book, but they still overcame it. They still overcame those adversities. So yeah, basically don't use it as a crutch. Don't, so and then we know there's a lack of mentor programs and mentors out here in general, but we all that's kind of the basis of my book too. Sometimes when I'm marketing, I try to just say it takes a village.
Right.
So I hear a lot of people talk about, well, I didn't buy your book because I don't have boys. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything?
It doesn't mean anything.
I know plenty of, again, of children that's motherless as well. Mm-hmm. But even if they're motherless, fatherless, two-family household, if you look at the news or if you study or the research, a lot of the children that's committing suicide are coming from two-family homes. So that really still does not matter. What matters is them seeing situations and understanding that, I can still reach my goals. I'm going to be inspired. I am inspired because I didn't know this about LeBron. I didn't know that his father was in jail. I thought that his father was out there practicing with him or whatever. So sometimes, it just be that it could be one sentence that may turn on a light bulb for someone. Mm-hmm. But that's just my goal, to help just reach the hearts of the children and encourage and motivate them, because it's needed. I tell people, if you don't have a child to give it to because you don't feel like it applies to a child in your household, we all know children who need to be motivated and encouraged. And sometimes you may think that child
cousin, nephew, anything.
Yeah, you may think the child next door is always smiling, but they may be getting abused. You just don't know. And that's what I'm saying. That third party from reading that book or listening to that song may help change the life or save a life.
That's true. And what I've heard you say before, you said you was wanting to get into the mentoring, is correct?
Right. So
that I don't mean to cut you off. That's like what I see with that, like the mentoring, like those kids that do get into the book or the mentoring programs that do issue the book out, that can let them know, hey, yeah, you don't have, that father figure, but the mentors can help take that place.
Right, exactly.
They can still instill that information that you may feel like you're missing from that father figure in your life, which can tie hand in hand because that can get them back reading, help them fundamentally with education, put that figure back in their life as well, and that'll build trust amongst them to go further and want to be successful. Yes. Was that like the type of vision that you had for, or is that just something that just so happens to just fall into place?
It's definitely the vision. And again, being self-published, there's so many. It's a challenge within itself. So
doing anything on your own. Yeah,
just trying to market and get the word out there for the book itself. But then I had to determine, okay, which direction am I going to go in? And then trying to work full time and raise my sons at the same time. What would be beneficial for me in my time? So the book has been out for over a year now. So now I am finally trying to tie in together the businesses that I have, which in 2015 I created a company. My business LLC is called Beyond Ingenuity, which means beyond ingenious. And the tagline for that is the intelligent, ambitious you. And it really was just a t-shirt line, motivational t-shirt line. And me and my son came up with some other t-shirts. Well, I didn't do anything with that for like a year, and I didn't know. But then when I had time off to think and meditate and think about what I'm going to do next with my book, it kind of tied in together. The business that I created in 2015, I didn't know that vision with the book would come together. And now I have a program that I've written up that I'm making a proposal with the schools to come in and so kind of create like a book club or mentor book club program. And it's going to tie in both of them. So not just coming in talking about, on a motivational side, but as far as bringing the book into the schools, having the children not just read the chapters, but bring in each child back every week to, it's going to be like a 6-week program. So every week they'll read a chapter, come back, and we'll have open dialogue. And so not just the open dialogue, but tie in comprehension. So it's like, because a lot of kids are just they're passing these kids through. So it's like a program where I want to help the children not just, understand that they don't have to be in these situations. They can overcome the stress, depression, or whatever they're dealing with. But we're going to read, and we're going to talk about comprehension. How can you apply it to your life? What did you learn? And did you, maybe you needed to look up a word in the dictionary or something you don't understand, because that's the problem. A lot of times with the kids, they're reading, but they're not comprehending, or they're reading just to say I read and get done with it. So I want to have like an open dialogue program, again, because we're talking about kids that's holding phones and tablets in their hand all the time, so they don't even know how to have conversations. Right. So I want to tie in all those together, having them read, and learning and understanding comprehension, and having open dialogue. Let's talk about what we learned. Let's talk about what we gained from it or what we didn't like. Let's just talk and have open dialogue. And it's a 6-week program that I'm trying to present to the schools. I don't live in Mecklenburg County, but I want to work with Mecklenburg County because I see that's where dire need is at. So it's more, it's going to be considered more like a mentor / book club program, because after they're finished my book, I want them to continue to read, but it'll be up to the schools what students are selected. So maybe it'll be a different set of students, and then maybe a different book, or maybe my book again. That's going to be up to the schools, but my goal is to get that program into several schools throughout Mecklenburg, and hopefully maybe throughout the world. We don't know.
That's the goal. Okay. Well, what I want to do is I want to hold that right there. I want to come back off of that topic right there. What we're going to do, we're going to take a short break and hear a word from our sponsors and be right on back. This is your man, SpaceMan Stuw, a.k.a. the Black Fiend, Black Phoenix Productions.
So we've got to come together and work together instead of trying to work against each other and support each other. I mean, that's the foundation of the community, and we've got to get back to doing that.
What's going on, everybody? This is your man, SpaceMan Stuw, a.k.a. the Black Fiend, Black Phoenix Productions. With 2016 out of the way and the future for 2017 shining bright in our face, there's no better time than now to sign up to be part of the annual Kings Mountain Black Business Expo. So if you're looking for a good time, looking for good food in a festive and family-friendly environment, or you're just looking to shop more with the people of your own, the annual Black Business Expo for 2017 is the place to be. So to all the black business owners and entrepreneurs out there, if you're looking to make immediate sales and generate new leads and clients for your own business, then pick up the phone and call 704-923-9586 and ask how you get your very own vendor booth table. With the opportunity to gain immediate access to local media and consumer markets, vendors get the chance to give live product and service demonstrations right to the people in the community. So hit us up today and let's help strengthen our unity in the community. And always remember, do what you can with what you have and do it now.
Are you longing for a little rest and relaxation? You don't have to travel far to find it. In fact, it's right here. Our back treatments are a perfect way to unwind. We can help you de-stress, soothe your tired muscles, and much, much more. We'll be happy to schedule you a back session today. Your trip to relaxation begins now. Whether you've never had a facial before or you indulge in one from time to time, we invite you to schedule an appointment here at the salon or any pre-approved mobile location. We'll examine your complexion and customize a facial gear to suit your texture, sensitivity, and tone. Please let us know of any areas of concern so so that we can tailor your treatment specifically to you. Celebrate your special occasion with a relaxing and invigorating spa experience. We can accommodate your wedding, birthday, bachelorette party, or pamper party with a stress-reducing back facial, cleansing facial, and so much more. We also offer gift certificates for a special treat to your friend or loved one that they'll be sure to remember. If you would like to schedule an appointment, a member of our staff will be happy to arrange a convenient date and time for you.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is your man, SpaceMan Stuw, a.k.a. the Black Fiend, Black Phoenix Productions. You're tuning back into the UAPRadio Show, the Underground Apocalypse Podcast Show, where we take the underground world and turn it upside down to the surface. We are in here today with the author, Miss Keeya McSwain. How are you doing this evening?
Good, thanks.
I got your name right, didn't I?
Yeah.
I listened to an interview before, and
That's fine.
definitely wanted to get the name right.
No, that's good.
But what I wanted to come back off of what you were talking on, being self-published and starting to get other books into it after your book was read. First thing I wanted to ask, as far as the self-publishing, what made you want to go that route versus going through a publisher or through maybe I think like Amazon or with Blurb, the other publishers that are out. What made you want to do like a self-publishing versus going through other avenues?
Okay, cost. With my book, it took a lot of research, and it took for me to I had assistance from a professional writer, so it's costly to just write unless you doing it all by yourself. But with my schedule, in order to get it out, I had to get assistance, so and have somebody assist me with the research and the writing. So when you're talking about other publishing companies, if they take on your project, typically they want a high percentage, and you don't have too much control over it. So self-published, you have all the control,
right,
and you can determine what direction your book is going to go in. However, my book is on Amazon, it is on Barnes & Nobles, it is with Kindle, Nook, it's on audio and ebook. The difference is with Amazon, they're the distributor for it. So they didn't publish it, but they're the distributor. So you can buy it from different distributors if you go online, but they control the price. They control the price based on what the book consists of. So my book consists of colored photos, which costs a ton of money. A lot of people, somebody's like, oh, you could just download those. No, you can't. Either not download a picture, trying to send me to jail. No, I had to pay a lot of money to make it a colored book. But again, we're talking about youth, so you have to make it appealing to them. So I invested that and make sure that was in the book. So Amazon, they're just the distributors, but they determine the price, the quality of your price. So I've tried to lower it a few times to make it a little bit more affordable. I mean, it's $22 to me is good, but at the end of the day, really, I only get a few dollars off of that because they're the ones who printed it for me and mailed it out.
Right. They have the hands-on with it.
Right. So if you want to have more control with the direction of your book, you would go self-published. Now, I could have just let a company, if they would approach me, one of the major publishing companies approach me, hey, I give you $100,000 check, and we take control of your book, then that would be the end of it.
Right.
Now, granted, I haven't. My goal when I knew how much money I was coming out of to get the book on the market, my goal wasn't to get my money back. My goal was to save lives, motivate, and encourage our youth. So I'm okay with it, even if I don't get 10% of it back. If I have a child to come up and say, I've had reviews and had people tell me they loved it, or if a child say, you know what, I was headed down left street, you know what I'm saying, but now just that one sentence or that one paragraph or that one chapter kind of turned the light bulb on me, or it just was my aha moment or anything. That's what I would rather receive back versus the money.
Right.
So yeah.
And see now, how I want to to come off of that was when you were saying with the books that you was wanting to get into Mecklenburg County, after, your book is read and stuff.
Yes.
What I think just that alone, what you just now said, would to help teach kids is that, you can do a lot on your own and you don't have to necessarily go through, the middlemen to do things. But that'll also reconnect, the authors that's within their own communities.
Right.
Say, like you said, you don't know exactly what book they might go to afterwards. They can get someone else within that community
right.
to, maybe put their book in, which that can help, promote the author
right.
to the people in the community and vice versa, especially if it's still motivational, if it's still along the lines of trying to help people better their lives. I mean, would you think that, or would you?
I think it's a good idea. It depends on, again, we're talking about school districts here. So my LLC is we're for profit, so everything would be held up under what I present to them. So I could take the program and continue it every 6 weeks with a whole different set of students. So it just depends. But I think it would be great if we had other authors who could come in and we could read other books. But my main goal is just to get the kids motivated into reading and to comprehending, and also using that dialogue, learning how to talk, because it's not just going to help them. It's not just going to motivate them from those chapters. It's going to open up their world to knowing how to conversate, because again, I find that that's a big issue with our youth today. And so it's up to the schools what direction you want to go in, but we can take that outside the schools and do it within our own mentorship community. And I'm definitely open to that.
What do you think is something that is causing, our youth and our community to not want to read as much? And, I asked that because, like you said, a lot of people, they are on their phones a lot. That's something I noticed the other day, is a lot of, the awkward silent moments. Like, say if you were riding in the car with somebody, a few years ago or before phones existed, you have no choice but to have a conversation with one another. Now you can just look in your phone and just be silent the whole ride. What do you think is, other than, technology or stuff like that, what's one of the things that you think that's, lacking in books or literature, and just in the excitement for it that makes our youth not want to go towards it as much?
I think it's definitely several factors. Some of the factors that I can say that may apply to me is that communication. Do you already have that open communication with that child? To make them want to put that phone down when they get in the car. They're excited to talk. Like, at the school for my boys, they like, Mom, can we talk about this? I'm like, yeah, So you have to already.
Oh, this is you did.
You can't hear it, or?
Yeah, I can hear it. You can cut it out.
So just I think that making the kids feel like it's okay, that it's okay to talk. It's okay to communicate. I think if you have that relationship established, then that's major, because some of the children may not even feel comfortable talking or having that open dialogue. I have plenty of friends, like my guy friend. He said, gosh, I pick up my son now from his mom's house, and he doesn't even. We get in the car, he'll answer my questions, but there's no conversation.
Right.
I said, well, you probably want to teach him how to conversate, because even though he's 11 or 12 or 13, he probably just don't know how, because they're so used to helping their phones, and we're not. Well, we have to teach our kids how to conversate. You have to establish that now at a young age, because even at a young age, people putting those tablets in their kids' hands at 2 and 3 years old. I think it's about making the kids feel comfortable. And then, making them feel like they have something to talk about. Listen to what they're listening to when they get in the car. Let them turn on what they want to listen to sometime and talk about it. So I think it's just about making the kids feel comfortable. And I think it's very important to make them, to help them understand the importance of learning how to conversate and having that dialogue. Because when you go into those workplaces or when you go into those interviews, it all comes together. You can't be an awkward silence.
Right.
And they're gonna be asking you questions. You have to know how to. So it ties into what their future holds for them.
In the long run, it does. Now that is something that can be challenging. Especially as like a teenager. Wanting, talking to an adult, it may be certain things that they may be asking about that they might not be as comfortable talking to someone else about, like their parent or something like that, which the mentoring could help. They would have like another figure to talk to have that open trust with.
Right.
You're not going to necessarily tell your parents everything. I know.
Right. Exactly,
me being a boy, I didn't tell my mama everything, but it wasn't like I was scared to tell her, stuff like that. It was just, it's my mama.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
certain
I agree.
stuff that
Yeah.
just don't go hand in hand. Maybe it might be like my brother or my uncle or somebody that I talked with it about. But I mean, it just wasn't. This wasn't the same. If you dug what I'm
No,
from.
I know what you're saying. But I think just general. I think the world is now like what everything is on video or TV, where you don't even really have to talk. You could be in the same house with a sibling and not say anything all day because you have so much entertaining you outside of.
You can send videos back and forth to each other in the other room.
Yeah. So I think it's just the technology altogether, and I think it's up to us as mentors, as parents, as teachers, the village all together to, help the children with that, because they don't realize that they're lacking it.
Right.
As adults, we see that, but it's up to us to bring it back to the surface and let them know this is pretty critical. It's
really
pretty
is.
critical. So, yeah.
Well, I think that if we can somehow incorporate some type of excitement for it again, like stuff, there's a lot of things, we as adults and parents know that kids need,
Right.
but it might not necessarily be, it on their top of the list things. So, a lot of that stuff has to be like, not persuaded, but it has to be presentable to them. Like, all right, yeah, that looks fun over there. If I do this, or if I get good grades, I get to do this type deal. Like some type of enjoyment in reading again. I mean, because I'll say that as a kid, I hated reading.
Right.
I hated reading. Like, I would get an enjoyment from the stories if I got into it. I would be into the book. I would fall asleep reading sometimes, but if I wasn't into it, then that would cause me to, just lose my attention or something like that.
But I think when my kids first started, my oldest son was kind of different. His dad had him reading novels. He was reading like way 3-4 grades above his level, so he wasn't an issue with him. But when I noticed with my second son, Khalil, he would, and even Kyrie, they would want the animated books. They want books with pictures. And then now as they get older, I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of time a little bit step away from that. So I think it depends on the context and allowing them to pick their own books. Because before I was trying to control that, like, well, you should be reading this, so this is what I would like you to read, versus letting them, at least they're in their section or their age range or their grade level, allowing them to pick what's of interest to them too. So, like I said, it's the creativity thing, and that's why I said with that program coming into the schools, it's not let's read and write. It's not, because at first I was about to create a workbook to go along with my book, and I thought about it. I mean, some kids don't like to write, some kids don't like to talk, but I think the talking piece of it is very important with helping them feel comfortable and understanding that dialogue and coming together. Sometimes you're going to need to be able to talk and have discussions and present and things like that. So just making it creative and fun, like you said, is important.
One thing, the book is not long. It's 780.
It's 8 chapters, and then in the back I have like a small chapter where it's a combination.
Right.
So yeah, it's not long at all. It's written on a 6th grade level.
Right.
So the target is elementary, middle, and it could be high school, but it's written at a 6th grade level. So
right. What I asked that reason for, because some books, the size of a book or the thickness can be intimidating for people sometimes, and the book doesn't, it's not real thick, but it's not too small to where it seems like it's just something to just toss away, and the cover is very appealing. So it's just the scope of it is very like, okay, this is something that I would at least pick up to look at, and I'm attracted to it, because like I said, it's not too intimidating. And if you say it's on a 6th grade level, that means that the read is very easy in there. What made you on a personal note want to go in that direction? Because being the author or being the creator of something, you definitely have a piece of you within it that that you feel a part of. Like you might like reading shorter books or something like that, or you might have picked up yourself that lengthier books are intimidating or something like that. So do you have like a personal note in that for it to be? Well,
yeah. I mean, I knew the book was intended for children or for youth. I would say I don't have a certain age range, because you have some 4th graders that may be able to read through the book. You might have a 9th grader that may struggle with the book. So that's why the typical book that's written for children, the average grade level is a 6th grade level. So when you're talking about just a self-published book, so you want to make it where everybody can read it pretty much. Again, you have to think about the unfortunate side of the children that they're pushing through the school systems right now, that just because they're in 8th or 9th grade, they may be reading on the 5th grade level, so you have to think about it on a broad perspective that I want everybody to be able to read the book and grasp through it, and that's why I said I did add the photos in there to just help break it up a little bit. But that did play a part, and like you said, I didn't want it to be intimidating. I wanted it to be an easy read and for kids to gain understanding, be motivated, comprehend what they read, and learn from it, hopefully be inspired from it.
Okay, so let me ask you this before we would getting close to the end of the show. I don't want to keep you too long from whatever you got to do. I know you're a busy lady. What would you say to a child that interested in books, if you could sum up from Fatherless to Famous and a great reason for them to want to read that within like a minute or so, what would you want to say to them or leave them with? I don't know, I put you on the spot, but what would you say?
I mean, I would say that so typically when somebody purchased the book from me, then I'll write in there, or they're like, can you write something for my son and daughter? I would just say to the reader that no matter what adversities you're coming against, no matter what you're dealing with, what you're struggling with at home or at school, you can overcome it. You can be bigger than that. You're better than that, and always just be encouraged. I wrote the book hoping that they can find hope. So I want them to know that there are people out here like me, like you, who actually cares. And sometimes you need to reach outside of the four walls that you live in, your home, so don't be afraid to reach out and tell somebody that you're dealing with something. Don't be afraid to talk to your teacher or your counselor, that because there's people out here who care. I have 3 boys, but I have a soft spot for girls because I don't have a girl, so it's like, I look at that, I see some girls out here look like they're hurting and whatever, so you just for the kids, I will let them know, like, don't be afraid to speak up or talk to somebody, and that you can be anything that you want to be, regardless of what you're dealing with.
I can dug it. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to come speak with me and let us in on your life and on your book as well, Fatherless to Famous. Can you give them your social media or any contact links to where they can find your information at the book?
Sure. So I am on Facebook, and it is From Fatherless to Famous. You should be able to type it in on Facebook. I am on Instagram. It's Keeya's_Empire. So it was just funny because of the name. But that's a different story. So in my website, I would like for people to subscribe, because I have started writing like a little blog. I'm not as consistent, but I'm getting there, and I do have some audiobook codes that I want to give out for free for people who are not able to purchase a book, or if you purchase a book, I'll give you a code. So, if you want the audio version as well. So that is www.fromfatherlesstofamous.com.
Well, there you have it, folks. Well, again, folks, this is your man SpaceMan Stuw, aka the Black Fiend, Black Phoenix Productions. In here with Miss Keeya McSwain, author of From Fatherless to Famous. Definitely go get that. Like she said, you can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, audiobook format, and you can go to their website as well. Email her, get in touch with her if there's any mentoring programs or anything out there that you know of or are part of that you feel would greatly benefit from this, and it could benefit the area that you're in. Please feel free to contact us here at UAPRadio.com or contact Miss Keeya directly herself so you can get that information. But y'all know you can follow me on IG, Facebook, all of that. Go to UAPRadio.com, UAPRadio Show, or SpaceMan Stuw for mostly all the social media. But we're going to go ahead and get on up out of here, folks. Peace and love to everybody that's out there, man. This is your man, SpaceMan Stuw, a.k.a. the Black Fiend, Black Phoenix Productions. Tuning in to the UAP Radio Show, the Underground Apocalypse Podcast Show, where we take the underground world and turn it upside down to the surface. Peace and love, everybody. We out.
And your skin what it deserves today with very good essentials.
The secret secret of every great look is a great hairstyle. And every great style begins with Berry Good Essentials.
It's a very good life. It's a very good life.
Start with Berry Good Essentials Natural Moisturizing Shampoo and Conditioner. It's the natural, gentle beginning of making that great hairstyle less than a wish away.
Very good essentials.
Then there's Berry Good Essentials Curling Custard that gives your hair life and body. And for the finishing touch, Berry Good Essentials Natural Moisturizing Spray that deodorizes and softens hair. It's a very good life, so why not give your hair what it craves?